I would say let's try and keep things civilized, but that's entirely down to you.
Leftists are just pissed for no good reason. Musk is collecting all these people's information. It's like unelected officials at the DMV are collecting my information.
Elon Musk is definitionally an unelected bureaucrat, cutting whatever he decides is necessary.
He hasn't cut anything. What did they cut?
I don't think that Doge even exists. I don't think they have the legal capacity to even do what Trump wants them to do. Trump was already found to have had people who were working with him collude with Russia. Roger Stone did it, but he was pardoned by Donald Trump, the same way Donald Trump pardoned all 1,600 J6 offenders.
Biden pardons the whole crime family, but that's fine.
You had 8 years to investigate it. They had nothing.
Here's Destiny logic for you. As long as bad things are done via the process of law, that's fine.
I don't want to leave us without getting to the really contentious story of the week. It's been another whirlwind week in President Trump's USA, from outshining Taylor Swift to banning plastic straws and bringing Doge's Elon Musk to the Oval Office.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into an absolute scorcher. Andrew Wilson and Destiny go head-to-head on Piers Morgan Uncensored. And let me tell you, this one has everything. Trump, Elon, shadow governments, and a Kanye rant that somehow involves naked Grammys moments. Yeah, buckle up, because this debate is less of a civilized discussion and more like two political gladiators swinging at each other with law books and Twitter hot takes. Let's break this down.
Here to debate this and much more, two controversial commentators whose views of this world, and indeed the next, couldn't be more different. Destiny is an outspoken liberal and atheist who said that religion is trash and a substitute for human thought. Andrew Wilson is a fiercely committed conservative Christian and founder of the Crucible debate channel, who once said this about facing destiny.
You and Destiny on whatever podcast together. Been watching some older debates with you and him. Love watching you wipe the floor with them. Keep up the amazing work you do. I doubt it. I doubt there'll ever be another debate between myself and Destiny, and here's why. One, I'm blacklisted. He actually made a blacklist and put me on the blacklist.
A lot of people have said that the platform's gotten a lot more spammy. There's a lot more bot activity and everything. Some people on the right over the H-1B fiasco were upset that Elon seemed to be banning people who previously would have been okay because of their political / racial stances, I guess, or whatever. So yeah, it seems like Elon's been having a little bit of trouble getting a handle on how he exactly wants to present X's moderation to the world.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, I interviewed Kanye West a year and a half ago, and he denied having any mental illness, certainly denied having any treatment for any mental illness. And a lot of Jewish people in particular think it's just an excuse, that he just actually is a massive attention seeker. It was the Grammys. He's no longer a kind of, superstar rapper in people's eyes. He's just become this pretty unpleasant troll. And that he was doing all this to suck attention away from the Super Bowl, from the Grammys and so on. What do you think? Where's the truth about Kanye West, do you think?
I mean, he's done this before. I mean, he had a meme presidential campaign, right?
Yeah.
A total meme. Ultimately, some people took it seriously. Most people in the mainstream most certainly did not take it seriously. And yes, it's attention-seeking behavior. Stripping. First of all, this is not the first time this has happened. Remember that his wife also was in controversy because she had a cross on her buttocks, her naked buttocks, and then now she is at the Grammys, and what happens? He literally takes her clothes off, disrobes her. Humiliating, by the way, absolutely humiliating. I felt ashamed on her behalf. I hate saying that, right? But I just couldn't believe it, right? The disrespect towards your wife, that's to me in many ways unconscionable. When it comes to the X thing, though, the freedom of speech, what we're talking about here is this line in freedom of speech, which you're right. Elon Musk has not figured this out yet because it's not really possible to figure out. Is it okay, and this is what Kanye West is trying to say, is it okay to post as much, swastikas and I Heart Hitlers and, everything else on this as I want? And if it's not, why isn't it?
Yeah.
Why can't I?
I agree.
I thought this was about freedom of speech.
He was
so
goading,
he's pushing the number, and that drives attention to that account. And in many ways, it could have been a tactical move by Musk to say, well, maybe taking that down is not going to look good on me. And so when the time came when porn came up, he pushed it a little further, right? Okay, they're not banning my account. He's actually letting this go. How do we push the number a little bit further? Then he moves over to, okay, let's post hardcore porn. And then finally Elon Musk says, okay, enough. I tried to do the best I can. So Musk is trying to find this line. Kanye is purposely pushing the line so that he can test the limits of Musk and this free speech on X and try to point out hypocrisy, this kind of thing.
Destiny, what did you make of that? Obviously, it's very unusual. You've got the richest man in America standing next to the President of the United States in the Oval Office by the Resolute desk. He's got his kid with him who's picking his nose. It's all a bit random and weird and surreal. However, I did watch it all, and I kept thinking to myself, if I was an average American watching this, hearing what Elon Musk is doing to federal overspending, I'd be cheering him on. I'd be all in favor of this.
Yeah, unfortunately, the average American, I guess, or the average person just has no idea how government works or functions. And I guess weird and surreal is just the way to describe now, or illegal, I guess, is the way to describe that this administration has decided to address programs that they don't like. If you want to cut down on waste, fraud, and abuse, I don't think anybody would necessarily have a problem with it, but they keep saying waste, fraud, and abuse when what they mean is programs that I don't like. And they've already taken several almost certainly illegal actions in trying to basically unilaterally dismantle organizations like USAID that have been independently authorized by Congress that the president doesn't have the ability to do, to dismantle unilaterally. And now you've seen TROs coming out from the judiciary that's telling him, hey, you have to stop. There was the one on the federal spending freeze that not only was a TRO issued telling him that you have to stop freezing these funds. Now another judge has said you are violating the TRO. You need to stop this immediately. So I guess if you don't care about the legality or the process and procedure or anything having to do with the structure of government, I guess it's a cool thing. But if you care about like following the law or the rules or maintaining your government, then it would probably be a horrific thing. But
Andrew?
Yeah, you got this idea. I've heard Destiny kind of talk about this before when he's saying, okay, these are illegal actions and possibly the court's not going to be able to catch up with these illegal actions. And so Trump is just going to basically continue with what he's considering to be illegal actions. Thing is like people forget about things like jury nullification or like the idea that you can have laws. And even if you're the enforcer of the laws, in this case, the executive branch, you don't actually have to enforce these things. Yeah, there's no like you're put there for a reason, just like a jury can nullify a law by saying, even though the law says you're guilty, I can still come back with a not guilty verdict. What's happening here is we don't even know what the waste, fraud, and abuse is. And so there's an audit going on, and this is exactly what Musk is doing. They're trying to audit this and get it in front of the attention of the American people to say, look, we don't want condoms for the Taliban. That was 15 million. Promotion of atheism in Nepal for 500,000. French LGBTQ programs in West and Central Africa for $1 million, right? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. $200 million 20 days in. I think that the American people do deserve to know that. And I don't think that they would, that this would be front and center or a thing we would be focusing on absent this audit. And I think that more of these government agencies should be audited. Now, Destiny can he can say, well, technically, due to the rule of law, we have judges who are making these impositions and this and that. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But that's all part of the process, too. It's all part of the process of law. The process of law is playing out exactly like it should. Judges are supposed to create injunctions if something illegal is going on, et cetera, et cetera. There's nothing wrong, though, with auditing these places. And for the spirit of transparency, I think that leftists are just pissed for no good reason. Like they go, oh, Musk is collecting all these people's information. It's like unelected officials at the DMV are collecting my information. The unelected officials at the Social Security office are collecting my information. Like so many government offices collect my information by people who I definitely didn't elect, and neither did Destiny. They're totally fine with that. But for some reason with these guys, no, that's too much.
Okay, hold up. First of all, let's talk about the absolute 4D chess happening in this take. Comparing Elon Musk to the DMV is like comparing a Swiss bank to your local pawn shop. One of these entities might leak your data, but the other is actively selling it to AI overlords in Silicon Valley while posting about free speech. Also, leftists are pissed for no good reason. Oh yeah, because historically, government agencies collecting mass data has always been a super chill thing. Snowden is watching this somewhere, nodding aggressively.
Elon Musk is definitionally an unelected bureaucrat who is now part of a shadow government who is going from agency to agency, cutting whatever he decides is necessary. In terms of there being transparency, all of this stuff was already publicly available. They've literally shuttered the USAID offices. What do you mean? They've literally frozen payments from the Treasury.
Yeah,
shuttered them
yes,
as in they
that-
shuttered them as in they tried to give a
and-
mass recall, saying all the employees needed to come home, which was stopped by a TRO, by a judge. And now a lot of these programs, there was just recently a report by the head of the Treasury guy, who now is fired, who was saying that there's a whole bunch of food and stuff that we've shipped to other countries. It's just going to spoil because now we've cut off funding and money for it. All of these things have just been unilaterally cut by Elon Musk and Trump without any authorization from Congress, despite the fact that Congress was the one that authorized the funds for these programs and authorized these offices and agencies. If you want to remove all of these things, that's fine. If you don't want $500,000 being spent for trans ballets in Nepal for atheists or whatever, that's fine. If you don't want it, then Congress has to defund it. That's the way that this process works. It's not up to the president unilaterally to decide what he likes or doesn't like. That's already been passed
hang on.
by the Congress.
Well, hang on.
It's not up to you.
That's actually, I was going to say, look, that's not actually correct. He's entitled to do this, and then there
he's
can be legal.
absolutely not.
Well, hang on. Then there can be legal challenges, and Trump made it clear in the Oval Office yesterday he would accept what a judge said. Now, by contrast, I remember Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez when it came to the Texas ruling in a court by a judge about abortion medication, for example. She said that the Democrats should not accept what that judge had ruled. Right? So why is it one rule? Why is it one rule for Democrats that they can ignore a judge's order with impunity? But when President Trump says, if people want to challenge this, no problem, I would accept the ruling of the judge. Isn't that democracy?
What years was AOC the president of the United States?
What difference does that make?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because she's not in the position to do these things. She can give the advice on it. If you wanted me to ask myself, like,
she's an elected lawmaker who doesn't want to obey the law.
A lawmaker. She's in a different branch of government. She's part of the legislature. We're not talking about the legislature. We're not talking about a random lawmaker right now. We're talking about the president of the United States doing things to intentionally contravene. You can't just say you could break the law.
President Biden did the same over student loans.
No, he absolutely didn't. When the Supreme Court shut him down in one thing, then he took a different avenue. It was not the same. President Biden did not ignore temporary restraining orders. It wasn't issuing TROs to stop what he was doing with the loan forgiveness. This is a totally different thing.
Yeah,
to say that
this
is not the same. It's not the same process.
Hang on, Destiny. I just let you
Vance
go.
and other people
respond.
have said over and over. I'm still responding to Piers. Vance and others have made it clear over and over again. They've quoted the Andrew Jackson quote, and they've said, well, we should just resist the judiciary. It is not part of law and order. It's not part of checks and balances for the executive to say, well, I don't care what a judge says. We'll just do whatever, which is what they're currently doing. And a judge has already said they've done with the TRO that was placed on them having to do with freezing federal funding. So they've already broken with what the judges are telling them to some extent. And at the end of the day, there's no way to check and balance the executive if they're just going to do what they want to do. You have no checks and balances there. What are men in robes and lawmakers going to walk down and fight with the U.S. Marshals and the FBI? Like, it's not going to happen.
Andrew?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So this is an issue. What you have is an issue of authority. So Trump he's trying to expand the limits of his office as fast as possible, and I understand why. Last time he was there, they were trying to impeach him from basically day one, made up this phony Russian collusion nonsense. He comes in now, he has nothing to lose. He's going to expand his office as quickly as possible, try to move things as quickly as he possibly can. And most importantly, he doesn't trust the judicial branch. That's what he said himself in his various speeches. I don't trust them to give fair rulings. I don't trust that they're actually there in respect to actual law. He doesn't actually even believe that. So what he's doing is he's expanding as quickly. Hang on, my turn. So he's expanding it as quickly as he possibly can. But he did say that he would abide by the rulings of these judges. He just recently said this, and we don't know what's gonna come of that. Right now, he's expanding this office to try to figure out these audits, this type of thing. I don't see what he's actually done wrong. You're already panicking, but we haven't really had a chance to see what happens if he abides by these rulings, doesn't abide by these rulings.
Right.
We don't really know that yet.
Right.
Well, Doge in and of itself is probably a wholly illegal agency. I don't think that Doge even exists. I don't think they have the legal capacity to even do what Trump wants them to do, number one. Number two, bringing up the Russia collusion stuff is funny when the entire foundation for Hunter Biden and Burisma was entirely fabricated. That person's already been convicted by the FBI for lying about the origination for that. And three, Donald Trump was already found to have people who were working with him collude with Russia. Roger Stone did it, but he was pardoned by Donald Trump, the same way Donald Trump pardoned all 1,600 J6 offenders.
The same way that Biden Biden does the whole crime family, right?
All right, let's dissect this mess. First off, if I had $1 for every time someone said Trump colluded with Russia or the election was stolen, I'd be sipping margaritas on Elon's Mars colony right now. Second, 1,600 pardons? That's not a pardon list, that's a group discount. At this point, Trump is treating federal pardons like Oprah giving out cars. You get a pardon, you get a pardon. Meanwhile, Biden's out here trying to pardon the entire crime family. Look, can we at least get a new crime show out of this?
Pardons the whole crime family.
Crime family?
That's fine.
Oh,
yeah.
How many crimes
And
have they
then- and
committed?
then pardons-
Oh wait,
pardons
the
Fauci on.
Republicans had like 8
Well, how do
years
we ever
to
know? They're all
investigate them and
pardoned.
found nothing. How do
They're
you
all
know? You had
pardoned.
8 years to investigate it. What do you mean? How many special
I don't know.
counsels?
Well,
How many?
how did we have 8
Republican
years to
things?
investigate
They had
him?
nothing.
How did
Because
we
they've
have
been
8 years to
investigating him
investigate
from as soon as Biden was in office. They've been investigating this guy, Hunter Biden, over and over and over and over and over again, and they found nothing. That's why
I'm
the
not talking
charges
about
we got at the end of the day
Hunter
were for tax fraud. Well, for Joe Biden,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
found nothing ever. They've
Well,
been
Destiny,
investigating
hang on,
causes-
hang on,
Fast like this
guys.
isn't going to make your
All
points any
fake
better. And I
news.
just want to
It's
make
all
sure that
fake
we
news.
Destiny,
can
why-
fake
get back
news.
to the actual
At the end
point.
of the day, the
Destiny,
facts
if none of
don't
them have
matter,
committed
yeah.
crimes, why do they all need preemptive pardons?
Yeah, they all need pardons.
Because Trump
though.
has shown over and over again that he doesn't need crimes to start chasing down people, and the Republicans have no problem hunting people down to try to go on
And
fishing
the
expeditions
Democrats
by whatever
haven't
crime
been
they
doing
think they
that
can
to him
find.
for the last year.
Give me one example.
Stormy bloody Daniels.
Did
Honestly.
he break a law? Did he break a law?
What a
Also, that wasn't the
farce of a
federal government.
case.
That was the state.
Are
Okay,
you
so just
honestly
don't like the law.
happy
That's
that
fine.
the
You don't
only
like the law. If
time
you
an
don't like the
American
law,
hang on, the
yeah,
only
if you
time
don't
an
like the law,
American
you just
president
don't like the law.
has-
No, I don't care.
the
I don't care.
only
If you don't
time an
like the law,
American
just say
president was
that.
ever
Say, I
dragged
don't
through a
like the
criminal
law.
court was over a one-night stand with a porn star 20 years ago. Utterly
It
preposterous.
wasn't over a one-night stand. It was over misappropriating
Oh,
campaign
come
funds
on,
and then
Destiny.
creating a paper trail. You can, if you don't like the law, that's fine.
You've had presidents like Obama waging illegal drone programs, killing thousands of innocent people. Why is he not in a criminal
Illegal as
court?
per who? Illegal as per who? Which crimes? What are we talking about?
You don't think illegal
You can't
drone
just say
programs
illegal
are criminal?
because it sounds illegal as per who?
Oh, you think they're
You just say
lawful?
illegal because it sounds bad. Apparently so.
What
Yeah, he
about the
consulted with
illegal
the Office
invasion of
Legal Counsel before
Iraq by
doing-
George Bush?
For which? What are we talking about for illegal invasion? Illegal
I'm
as per
talking
what
about
crime?
crimes.
Which crime? Which crime? What crime
A
are you
bigger
talking
crime
about? For
than
New York
sleeping
State,
with a
it was a
porn
crime.
star.
You misappropriated campaign funds.
I'm making
What?
the point. I'm making the point. The only time an American president has ever been dragged through a criminal court was not over running illegal drone programs or illegally invading sovereign countries. It was over an alleged one-night stand with a porn star
these
that
are-
involved a bit of paper shuffling. It was completely ridiculous.
You have strong feelings about what you think should be a crime or not, but if you don't care about the law, there's no legal argument to be had then. If you just think it's a crime because it's bad, you don't like it, or you think it's a crime or it's not a
Destiny
crime
logic
because you don't
for
think it's a
you.
big deal, that's fine. But I mean, like, if you want to have
Yeah,
the
here's
legal
Destiny
argument,
logic for you.
if
As
you want
long
to
as
talk about
bad things are done via the process of law, that's fine. But if you do good
I didn't
things
say it
absent
was
the process
fine.
of
I'm
law,
saying-
that's bad. It's like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I know. Here's my chain of logic. I know it's hard to follow. If you are a criminal, it's because you've broken a
Talk
law.
real slow.
Not all bad things are criminal, okay? Not all bad things are crimes. You can think somebody did a bad thing, but they didn't commit a crime. Donald Trump committed crimes in New York State, probably committed crimes insofar as Georgia is concerned, and he's committed federal crimes insofar as the Mar-a-Lago documents case was and the J6 case was. He won't be held accountable for all of that, thankfully, because he's dismissed it. He does everything he can to elude accountability. But those are crimes. If you want to say, I don't like the war in Iraq and that's illegal, illegal as per who? We could talk about the ICJ or the ICC if you want, but that gets obviously way more complicated.
No, that
But if you
wasn't
wanna
what
say
my point
illegal,
was.
you
My
have to
point
refer to
was-
crimes.
Yeah, it wasn't my point. My point was to say that from your view, you're only concerned about process of law
The
in
law,
this case,
yes, the
right?
law, yes,
Not about
correct,
not
yes.
hang on. Not about the moral implications of the actual waste, fraud, and abuse that is brought up. Only that the technical process is followed. So it's like, okay, but what if they're not following your technical process, but they're actually finding waste, fraud, and abuse from a moral implication? That's actually a good thing. Now, I don't even agree with you that they're breaking any laws. I don't even agree that they're breaking any laws. These challenges are brand new. We have no idea how this is going to play out. You don't, I don't. But we have no idea
We
if
have a
he's
good
going
idea.
to
We think we
adhere
know.
to what the court is going to say. No, we don't have a good idea. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's not. We don't know for sure that Trump is going to just go, oh, I'm just going to Jackson the courts. The courts can enforce their own law. Like, that is speculation that's beyond the pale.
They've
that I don't
already
even
done
think
that. A
there's
judge has
political
already
will.
issued a ruling saying they've already violated a TRO. So that's already happened to some extent. Now, how far will it go? Who knows? But they've already done exactly that. Doge does not have the legal authority to go in and unilaterally.
No, they're giving a legal
shutter
challenge
federal
back,
offices.
Destiny.
They have. They
Yeah,
didn't
they're giving
even
a legal
respond.
challenge back.
Read the TROs. Their response was, "Oh, we're going after fraud," and the judge laughed. And he said, "This isn't even a
That
response."
doesn't mean that doesn't. Wait. So yes, they are. Not only are they going to respond to this, but they're setting up for legal challenges to go back the other direction. This is obvious. And by the way, this is part of the process. Like, I don't know why you just pretend like these politicians don't expand their offices all the time, and that's what the judicial does, right? It comes in, it'll rein it in, it'll say this is constitutional, it's not constitutional, you can do this, you can't do this. They do it all the time. There's so much precedent for this, in fact. So if he doesn't adhere to what the judges end up saying, to what these courts actually say when he has no more legal standing to fight it, then you have a leg to stand on. Right now, you don't.
He's already done that.
He's acting, acting the best he can in the ability of the office of the President of the United States.
Chaps, we will see.
So the goal,
because
the goal should be to just break as many laws as possible then, and then see what happens.
No,
That's
Trump
the
has made
right
it clear
course
he'll
of
accept
action?
the ruling of the judges.
Destiny just summarized American politics in one sentence. The political strategy right now is basically, let's break everything and wait for the courts to catch up. It's like playing Monopoly and hoping the banker is too distracted by their phone to notice you pocketed a few extra hundreds. And to be fair, Trump isn't even subtle about it. He's speed-running presidential powers like it's an Elden Ring boss fight. But let's be real. If Biden pulled half of this, CNN would have an emergency broadcast with a countdown timer to impeachment. Just saying, and that, everyone, is the state of political discourse in 2025. Twitter beefs turning into presidential policy, billionaires running social media like it's their own personal chessboard, and debates that make actual courtroom trials look tame. So tell me, who do you think came out looking worse here? Is Wilson cooking, or is Destiny just speaking facts? Drop your takes in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more unapologetic breakdowns of political mayhem. See you in the next one.